Breaking the gray.
Boom. That's right. Bonus content. Everyone loves bonus content. That's why we got Sarah to give you her quick hacks, on-the-go content just for you about specific things that we know are going to help you along the way. Take a listen. Here we go. All right. Here we are. We are in extra, what do they call it in football? Extra minutes, extra time?
Extra time.
Extra time. We're in extra time here. We're giving our listeners a few extra tidbits, but really guides, some quick guides to really practically applying some of the fantastic concepts there that you've introduced to us. We covered a lot this season, and I think it would be helpful for us to sort of stop for a second and talk about a couple of these. So we're going to start with really a day in the life of a biohacker. Give us some quick tips about a day in the life of being a biohacker.
Yeah, so I think it's good to kind of go over what would be almost like an ideal day if you could get up and do an ideal day and what that might look like in terms of how our body is actually responding at different times during the day and what you can do to help that. Because that's really what biohacking is about. It's about hacking that environment to kind of optimize what you're getting from it.
Right. And the concept itself is take ownership, is what you said.
Yes. Take responsibility. Yeah. No one's going to do this for you.
So in the morning, the first light.
Yes, of course, we always talk about that first light. So in the morning, it's really about understanding your body, what's happening in the morning. And in the morning when you wake up, there are certain reactions in your body that actually wake you up. And one of that is actually a hydrolysis reaction, how the body changes according to you have water added to various molecules in the body. So the first thing, hydrate. Drink a pint of water. So we're not talking about getting up and just pouring coffee or tea or something straight in. We're talking about straight away hydrating the body, number one.
Okay.
And then, of course, with sunlight. Back to the sunlight.
Right. That's right. Get your morning red light, see the sunrise, hydrate well. Do you eat stuff in the morning?
Yeah, I think for the sunlight, it's important to say, if possible, you want to do that before you see any artificial light. So we're not kind of talking about getting up, pottering around, we're talking about straight away getting outside because you want the light to be the first light that your body sees, the natural light. So before you switch on your phone, the telly, even the lights in your house, if you can do it. And I know sometimes here in England that means fumbling about in the dark and stumbling downstairs because, it can be dark in the morning. But if you can, don't put on the artificial light. And if that, if it's as simple as sticking your head out the window, looking at the sky before you do anything, so be it,
Yeah.
So yes.
Turn the phone off. Keep it as far away from yourself in the morning. Yep. Get out there, close your eyes, enjoy the sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
Then come inside. Give yourself a nice big hydrated glass of water.
Yep. Water, straight away water, because that's what your body wants first thing in the morning, because that some of these reactions that you actually have in your body to actually wake yourself up, and even for brain function, it's all about hydrating proteins, and if you haven't got the water there to do it, you're setting yourself off on the wrong foot straight away.
Couple of glasses.
Yep. Or a glass of water, like you can drink we say pints over here. I don't know what you'd have, but yeah, a glass of water.
pint/glass. That's perfect. That's perfect. And then we're moving on. So we move on. Are we noshing on some food here?
Yeah. So this is, I don't know if you've heard the phrase that you have breakfast like a king and lunch like a prince and dine like a pauper. That's kind of I like that phrase. It kind of is a nice way to set up your day, in that breakfast should really be one of the main meals of the day, or if not the main meal.
Right.
And breakfast, if you can have some really good quality protein for your breakfast,
okay,
like eggs, if you're into eating meat, having some really good quality eggs and meat for breakfast, or having something that's, one, it's not sugar. I mean, you don't want to have sugar, but it's something that's going to be brain food. Like eggs are excellent brain food, especially if you eat like the runny yolks of eggs. That's really what your brain is made of. And so, again, that's a good start to the day.
And when you are applying your morning ritual, are you intermittent fasting all the time? Do you do it sometimes? Are you fasting for a certain amount of hours in a day?
Well, the intermittent fasting piece, if you do your, if you stagger your meals so that you're eating most of your food at the start of the day, and then you're just having a light meal in the evening, if you finish eating at something like 6 or 7 o'clock, and then you're not, getting up until 7 the next day or whenever the sun rises, that's a good 12-hour fast right there. And that's enough for this intermittent fasting piece.
Right.
So, the earlier you can have your evening meal and then stop eating then. So, I mean, not like sitting in front of the telly having your snacks, that has to go so that you do actually stop eating after your main meal. But that's enough of a fast. You don't have to kind of go without food or totally, not eat for any period during the day to get a good intermittent fast.
Now, are you doing midday exercising? Or what happens at midday?
So midday or solar noon, around about that time, that's when us as mammals naturally, that's when we are most active and the brain is most bright. So, if you've got some work to do, that's a good period of time to do it. But obviously you don't want to be sitting too long in the day. So maybe some light exercise in between. So at some point during the day, you want to get out and do like a good brisk walk or do your run or whatever exercise you're doing. If it's outdoors, that's all the better. But you want to make sure you are moving at least in that kind of day period.
Right. Now, are you taking vitamins? Are vitamins part of the daily regimen as well?
Do I try as much as I can to get most of my nutrients from food. It's not always easy, and of course you do have to have access to like really good locally grown fruit and vegetables, but I do try and do that. But I tend to then every now and then supplement with something different, because you don't want your body necessarily to get used to the same thing, and also to kind of cover bases if you do different things for different months.
Right. Seasonality is an impact.
Seasonality has a huge impact right now because of the COVID thing that we've got going on. And I think if you do live anywhere where you don't get very good sun, then vitamin D is a really good idea.
Yeah.
And if you can get that from a marine source, all the better.
Now, anything special between your midday and really getting closer to kind of early evening? Anything special that you're doing in that time period?
So again, it's about where you are and what's going on. The things, if we're talking about biohacking, like as you are finishing work and then you're preparing to like get into the evening, things like cold thermogenesis, that's the time when you're doing your cold swim, your cold showers, something like that, because that really does set your body up for a good night's sleep. Yeah.
And then, okay, so we're there. We're in the evening time. We've talked about sunset. We've talked about the importance of red light. Sunrise. Are we talking about sunset now? Is that important?
About sunset now. So this is when you want to really pay attention to your light environment, because it's very important, this whole topic of artificial lights at night.
Right.
Or Alan is called, that code name Alan, artificial light at night.
Okay.
So when the sun goes down, you really want to be limiting your screen time, or if you are on a screen for whatever reason, you need to have the filters on to block out the blue light. It's probably best to have orange lights in your house if you can, change your lights for orange lights in the evening. If you can't do that for whatever reason, you can get blue blocking glasses so that you can put those over your eyes and it blocks out a lot of that light that's coming in. But
I'm sensing dinner time now. So we've got our lights hued to a nice orange auburn color. We've seen the sunrise. Now we're at dinner time. Let's go through dinner.
So if you're following the kind of stacking your meals more to the front end of the day, you'll want to have a light dinner.
Okay.
So here is where you're dining like a pauper, you know? So you're
Yep.
having something like soup, or you're having salad, or you're having something that's obviously going to keep you going till the morning, because you don't want to start snacking in the evening. So it needs to be substantial enough, but you don't want to be, you know, having like a full on roast with dessert and then, you know, something afterwards. You want to be eating fairly light in the evenings.
Yeah. Now, as we're done, anything you do prepping before sleep, right before bed, anything you do special?
Well, coming from an evolutionary biology point of view, like this is a time when traditionally, like in tribal cultures, you know, you are actually relaxing, but also connecting with family members or whoever's around. I don't want to miss out, you know, all this biohacking. Sometimes we focus a lot on the individual, but there is a community aspect here. And this is a time when really you should be doing that connection. You know, connection is very important.
Okay.
You know, it's a tribal thing, and, you know, and traditionally you may have sat around a fire. Well, no, we don't do much of that anymore, but making sure that you have those good connections with your social circle, that's a biohack.
Yeah. No, I love that. No, Sarah, thank you. We just got a day in the life of a rebel scientist, a biohacker. Sarah Turner, thank you for giving us another peek into your amazing world. And we'll be back with more great content.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, Russ. Yeah, take care. Chat soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Rebel Scientist Podcast is a Breaking the Gray production, created by Russ Eisenman and Paul Wood, hosted by Sarah Turner, music and sound editing by Logan Shea. For more information and other fantastic podcasts, visit breakingthegray.com. That's gray with an E, breakingthegray.com.
Breaking the gray.